it's best to keep the video short and sweet. So if you can keep it beneath 15 seconds. So first you lead with a decent hook, and then you just keep it to 1 to 2 sentences, but keep it really, really moving along, and then just keep the video short. Once you do start doing that, you just got to show up consistently.
Welcome to The Business of You, the show that empowers you to put yourself out there and build your personal brand. I'm your host, Michelle Griffin, helping you each week with expert tips, inspiring stories, and personalized coaching so you can master your reputation and build your future, showing up as the brand and business of you. I'm excited you're here. Now let's get going with today's show. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode today. I'm absolutely excited to talk to this amazing guest today because guess what? He's on TikTok and LinkedIn, but he's all about helping us create with voice. In fact, that's actually the name of his company. He's a video and content creator, and he's calling all the way from the UK. And I'm super excited because he stayed up late on his end to talk to me. So welcome to the show, Steve Shillingford. Great to have you here.
Thank you so much, Michelle. So thank you so much. It's been an honor. So I've been waiting. I put Michelle off, didn't I? I had a family emergency last time we were supposed to have this podcast, and I had to rush out. When you got children, it's always the way. There's always something. So how you doing anyway? Good.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, we've all been there. Trust me. No worries. I'm just glad. I think that was like 2 weeks ago. So I wanted to get you back super quickly because everywhere on LinkedIn, you and I hang out on LinkedIn. That's where we create our contents. Okay. So am I right? Or maybe I'm wrong, or what have you seen so many people come on in the last couple of months? Come on LinkedIn and just talk about how TikTok is blowing up, which is kind of weird because everyone thinks maybe outside of the realm of if you're not into it, that you have to be a teenager and dance and do all these crazy things. But you're here to say, no, you can actually create good content and get business. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So where do we start? Tell me, is that true, right? You can find business, right?
You can find business indeed on TikTok. Most people look at the platform and they just think, it's kids. I was myself was like that. I looked at it for, before it was Musical.ly, my youngest kids used to play with it all the time. And then during the pandemic, during the sort of lockdown, that's when I sort of just thought to myself, let's have a look at this thing. And, there's people across the board, whether it's entertainment, whether it's motivation, whether it's business, there's room for every single person. I think people demystify it. And for me personally, at the moment, it's still infant to sort of the business world, but I'm also seeing people who are building like personal brands on there and building influencer businesses. So it's something that shouldn't be ignored, but most people assume that they got to dance or lip sync when in truth, you don't really need to do that.
Well, good news, because that's why everyone says I would never be on there. And I've said that too, because I'd be like, forget it. I mean, I reserved, like I do when platforms come out, I reserved my handle a while ago, but I have like 20 followers, maybe 50, but I have zero posts because I don't know what to do. And, for years I thought that's what you had to do. So I'm starting to, the tide is changing because I'm starting to see and hear people who are having amazing success. So that's you. So, okay. We know it. We can get out there. Tell us where to start. Just tell me 101 TikTok and what we need to do as B2B content creators.
Again, like you said, most people look at a platform and they make an assumption and they just think to themselves, no, I'm not going to do it. It's just like the internet. Everyone thought it was a fad back in the early 90s. They looked at it when they looked at the internet and they looked at social media. They thought to themselves, no, I'm not going to get on that. Now look, it's all the rage. So personally, a lot of people look too much into it. Some people go in and they think they're going to go in with a business head. This is why TikTok is really sort of taken over, and all the other platforms, have you noticed they're moving with a short form video? And Instagram have immediately seen this and jumped in with the reels, and they're giving out a lot with the reels because they're trying to sort of capture that market. Even recently, Missouri said he's going to obviously offer more to creators and a younger demographic, which says they want more creators on the platform. Problem is Instagram is too perfect and TikTok isn't. So it doesn't matter what background you got. You haven't got to be perfect. There's some creators on there that aesthetically, they've got great videos, but then you've got other people on there and they don't care. The dog's in the background, the laundry's on the floor. But the thing is, it's a platform where no one is judging. No one's judging at all. And that's where you're seeing sort of massive growth, because the algorithm's a lot different as well. So every other algorithm, it allows for that. So again, it's just creating content, letting your personality go out there, not being nervous about it, and just going. Even if you've got a mantra that you live by, you've seen something, it has resonated you, you've had a moment that your day. You know, I predominantly went on there in the beginning to test a platform, and I was walking down the high road in London, in like a certain location, London, just saying, man, I'm down here in North London, sun shining. And the engagement from people just related. And, you know, you've got people from all different regions and hi. And that's how it really sort of worked for me, just showing up and being yourself. Now you can mix it up with obviously your business, and just talk about your industry. And you're seeing people like Chris Walker from Design Labs, he's over there on TikTok, and he's starting posting consistently. There's another guy, Stephen Pope, he's another B2B business on TikTok now, and he's just talking about what he's doing, you know, his automation. And a lot of other creators are doing that. A lot of other businesses are doing exactly that. So it's just using the same principles, keeping things short and sweet, and really delivering as much value. You've just got to try to be different than everyone else, because it is a platform that's very much follow the trend. So again, when you get started, you pick up the phone and you just shoot your first video. Even if it's a reaction video, even if it's a reaction, even if it's a list, you know, a top 5 list, and you just scroll down with trending music, and that's how you really get started. So if you're nervous, no need to be. Just get on there and get started with the first video.
That is good. You hit some good things. No perfection and no judgment. Wow. That's what 100%. I'm hearing. I mean, that helps everyone, like, right? That lets the guard down for sure. So I'm starting to see people like the people we are on the LinkedIn platform, or like Chris Walker. You know, he has great success on LinkedIn, just talking about B2B marketing, and that's his thing. I have not seen him on TikTok. I'll have to go check him out. Stephen Pope, I saw his pod. I was looking at his account over the weekend. Good stuff. So what I'm hearing too is people say, before you go out there, go kind of see what's out there, not to copy, but just to kind of see in the B2B space what that looks like. And there was another amazing company that's just killing it. Who is that? It has like that little green symbol. I forget at the top of my head who it is.
Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about. I think they've got about 8.5 million like followers or something there, which is just, again, another company that have used TikTok effectively is Nerf and Ryanair over here in the UK. They've used it effectively. There's a lot of big brands that are going in and using it, and they're just creating. It's a bit like native. No one likes to see an advert. You know, you go on YouTube and everyone hates it. So those platforms like that are giving us options like YouTube Premium, so you can just not have the adverts, just like Spotify Premium. And what a lot of these companies are going in and doing is they're creating native content, because I've got like a water bottle here from my local football soccer team, and you can literally just take something, an item, talk about it, and that's it. You know, like you can reach out to brands. So the space is wide open. A lot of people are just prejudging it and thinking to themselves, well, we're just going to ignore it. The best way to really use it is companies using it and getting their employees to jump on the platform. And that way, you know, it's bringing attention to the company as well, which works great as well. So it's really, what I've seen of late as well, is a lot of highly successful TikTok creators that are moving over to LinkedIn as well, and starting talking about TikTok and LinkedIn. Saw a couple of guys, London Laz, saw him. He's got about 8.5 on TikTok. And then you've got JT Bartlett. He runs an agency specifically for influencers, and he's started to post on LinkedIn now as well. So if you've seen these guys moving in and talking about business, and TikTok is something that definitely shouldn't be ignored.
You're right. They saw a market need and gap. Like, let's get the LinkedIners on TikTok. That's a captive B2B audience. Yeah. The time is still ripe. I mean, I know you talked about pandemic. It kind of started changing. And so I mean, I have been having this conversation for so long, but I have not done a video yet. So I'm getting sold every day. And my thing is, the perfection is what gets everyone, or what to say, just like we get on LinkedIn. And you've given us some great ideas. I would probably stay in the lane of like personal brand building, or maybe some LinkedIn or personal branding on LinkedIn or something, but I need to show my personality. And here, that's a thing that I personally want to do in 2022 is peel back a little bit more of my layers. I've come in as an empowering thing. So I think TikTok would be good for that. So you've really intrigued me. And so who's ever's listening to this and wants to start, you gave us some ideas. First, you got to change our mindset. Second, I'm thinking maybe kind of see what's out there. You've given us some good tips, but what else do we need to take that leap? And tell us some of the things you're finding good success on there.
Well, what I found on there is just engaging with community building. Once you start posting consistently, a lot of people think to themselves they need to post 5 to 10 times a day. You're gonna get growth with obviously five, 6 videos a day, but you can create one good video every single day. And remember, it's best to keep the video short and sweet. So if you can keep it beneath 15 seconds. So first you lead with a decent hook, and then you just keep it to 1 to 2 sentences, but keep it really, really moving along, and then just keep the video short. Once you start doing that, you just got to show up consistently. And again, it's just you can be unscripted and it works. If you're good with unscripted, go for it. If you know your craft, it stops your mind thinking about what do I need to talk about and is everything perfect. So like I said, if you move in regards to sort of just posting sort of one quality video per day, making sure you stick to the sort of a schedule of just say, give it 90 days. Give it 90 days. Don't sort of pick it up and think to yourself it isn't working, because TikTok, it takes a while. Also, follow your own niche. For videos of your niche. So use the search capabilities to sort of scroll through, look at obviously what people are doing. Probably the best thing to do is get on the platform first of all, I should have said, and just look just spend 10 hours on there. Just look and then shoot your video. But also make sure you've got a collection of 10 videos or something like that. If you can do that, if you can shoot with one video, great, but you're going to have to try and keep up with the demand. There's a lot of us on here. Some of us schedule our posts on LinkedIn. Other people do it off the fly. Sometimes I always think you just need to keep something in reserve. You never know. You might have a down day or a family emergency. You just never know. But if you've got it in reserve, then you've just got to, wherever you are, just take it and post. Once you do that, community building community is probably stronger than actual LinkedIn. The community on LinkedIn, I found once you've hit a niche and you've got core followers, people on TikTok are really, really loyal. They will defend you from the trolls, but they will, once you're giving that value and they believe in you, and that's why it's so important to be yourself. It's so important to be yourself on LinkedIn. But once you show up as your true self, and we always hear that, but it's just, you just take the mask off and just be. And the community will follow. Engage with the community, just like on LinkedIn, and success will follow. And again, you don't need a massive following to be successful as well. Some people assume they need millions of followers or 100,000. You don't really need that.
That's really good. So a couple questions here. You just dropped so much great advice. So 2 things I want to ask about. First, you said short form content, which I'm a huge fan of, but we know, I think they're the 3 minutes. So we're going to put the 3-minute video off the shelf. I know they're 60 seconds, but you even said, you said 15 seconds. Is that right? 15?
Yeah, I said 15 seconds.
What do you do in say 15 seconds?
The thing is, it's narrow it down. So first of all, you tell the people what exactly you're going to talk about. You might say, right, here's 5 content creation, obviously tools that you need in 2022. And then you just go through a listicle. You can either go a listicle or you can go actionable. You can just, like you said, so listicle, actionable, and just, it's really keeping the sentences, because what you find is when you start talking to the camera, you can go off on a tangent. And I've talked about cutting the fluff. The great thing about TikTok, if you have a timer, so you set your timer, so you can go through that timer, you can record this video, record up to 60 seconds or 3 minutes, and then you can edit all the capabilities within the app. Or even for better quality, record from your mobile phone, stop it, obviously, and then you can upload it and then edit it, because it allows up to 3 minutes. So you can edit up all the fluff, all the ums and the Rs and the things when you're pausing, edit that all, push it together. 15 seconds to get initial push. But once you start gaining traction, then you can start posting longer form videos for 1 minute, because people will listen to the 1 minute video, but it's about getting the initial like sort of traction and get the momentum going. A lot of people think 15 seconds, and it is hard. It is hard. It's not easy. But if you keep it short, sweet, to the point, I've seen so many creators sort of achieve success by that. And then I've seen other people sort of go off on a tangent. But when they've done that, it's got to be heartfelt. It's got to be heartfelt, and it's got to be where they need that pickup, because there's a lot of creators where they create and people feel it and they're like, I needed that today, or I needed that great tip. And again, people, once you do that, then people are interested in you. When they're interested in you, that's when you can build out your other socials. That's why you see a lot of people on Instagram grow through TikTok, because people obviously are following them through to TikTok. I don't think it works so well with YouTube, because again, it's a different platform. You've got to respect the platform for it, what it is. But they want to find out more about you, and they will come and find you. I've had it done so many times where people just come, drop a message in the DM, and next thing you see, and they're following you, just see your follow count go up. So that is really, really short and sweet. That's what it's about.
I'm a fan. When I work with clients on LinkedIn, I'm like, just do short for me. Just do short. Give people a reason to want to know you and read your stuff, and that's the best way. Attention spans are short. Is there a way to do a search for like 15-second videos? Because I really want to go see what a 15-second video entails. Is there a way to search by time or anything like that on TikTok?
There's not, essentially, you can probably, if you just typed in content marketing into search it into the TikTok search, it will bring up a load of videos. Most of the people doing content marketing, sort of analytical, sort of actionable and listicles, they really keep it short and sweet. I think your personality comes out to a degree. The people that do longer form are really, really comfortable in their own skin. There's a guy on TikTok, he's called Bonus Footage, and I've spoken to him. I've even taken one of his courses, and he's unique. He's got a certain flow, and that's all it is about, really. It's letting your uniqueness come out. And he does videos probably up to like 60 seconds, 40 seconds. And he gets a lot of engagement. So again, it's just being yourself. And once you be yourself, obviously you can go even 17 seconds, but I always say keep it as short as possible, because you've got tools where you can go in and you can sort of look at your analytical tools as well, which helps you, because when you start seeing people drop off, you can look at, right, they've dropped off for 4 seconds. What was going on in this video? Was it a good enough hook? Okay, the hook wasn't good enough. Try and improve on your hook. So, and then you can start really crafting your videos. The shorter, the better. It just has to pack the punch and offer the value prop. But again, you're giving them almost, I look at TikTok as a teaser for an introduction to who you are, because people, they will start to binge watch your content. Once that starts happening, TikTok have a way of letting people see your old content that's probably like 2-3 months old. So even if you don't get traction initially, just keep on creating, because once you keep on creating, they're still going to show that to the audience along the way at some point or another.
Ooh, that's so good. I mean, it sounds like the ultimate place to build your personal brand, because you can totally be yourself, and you need to be yourself and show your personality. Absolutely love that. So you could totally be like, give people tons of value on LinkedIn in one way, and then show yourself and educate and inspire people still in your lane, but with a more personality on TikTok.
Well, I'll tell you a great feature of TikTok is once you hit, I think it's over about 700 followers. Once you have 700 followers, they introduce you to the live feature. And the live video, if you've got a live topic that's really, really engaging, it's best to create a live video with a host. It's just like a podcast, and it works. The engagement, obviously, if it's really, really sort of hot, they push it during the live as well, so more people come in. And because you're interacting with the audience as well, people are talking in the comment sections. Because I used to do like coaching, and I used to talk about sort of trauma and heartbreak and stuff like that from work. That's how I sort of jumped onto TikTok. And people would just jump in the comments. They'd be talking to each other. They'll be building relationships with each other, just like on any other platform. But the live feature works really, really well. Any new creator who's growing on TikTok, you should be creating, and you get past the 700, you should be creating lives once or twice a week, because they're really, really powerful. Some people are not really utilizing it as how they should, but I've utilized it. And when I've used it before, it's just been like incredible. So it really, really helps with the growth. So it's not just about the videos. It's like once you start building that community, you can do lives. That's when you really can build a community. And then you can sort of, and people, it's funny because other platforms don't like you moving away from the platform, but TikTok give you that in a bio. They give you a link in bio eventually once you get a certain follow account, and they give you links to outside sources. The only other place you see that is YouTube when they're doing the description. Like LinkedIn, you can do it, but you really should do it obviously within the post. Even they don't like it. That's why when I see creators stick YouTube videos in posts, I'm like, such a bad mistake, you know. But TikTok allow that because I think they know people are just going to come back to the platform as well.
Yeah, it's really addicting. No, that's good. So you keep having a live show is good for our community. I'm going to break down community. It's a huge way that I believe we should build our brands.
100%.
And I know you do too. On LinkedIn, you know, we do a post and it's really good, especially if you're just starting out, to get in and answer all the comments. So it's a little bit different on TikTok, I'm hearing, but can you break it down? You put a video, do people comment, and you have to do all of it? Can you tell us the best way to build community, start a community feature?
Best way to build community is once you, because TikTok I've got the feature where you can answer. So you haven't got to go into the comments. You can just answer with a video reply. So I will ask you a question, you'll look at it and you'll be like, right, okay. And then you just do a video with a video reply, answering that question. And that's a great way as well when you know you're in a space where people want that information because it's personal almost. You're answering that specific person, that question they've asked you. And that's also content as well. So if you cater it to that person and generally as well, that's another way to build community. So using the live feature is one, and also doing video replies is another one. And then just jumping in the comments as well. Obviously you can follow people back and and also engage with other creators and to sort of create, because you can create multi-lives as well. So you can have sort of 3 to 4 people on a live stream as well. So those are really great ways. The only way you can sort of build a one-to-one relationship is by following another creator, another person back who's on TikTok. And then it gives you the option of obviously messaging. The messaging feature is clunky. It's not great. There's other platforms are better. However, if you want to build communities, for 3 things I always say is obviously post consistently, get your follow account up, which is so important. Once you get a live feature, use the live feature, use the video replies, because Instagram have recently started doing that as well. So they copycat the feature because they've just seen the power of it. I haven't seen too many people using it on Instagram as much as, but on TikTok, it's one thing I used, which was great for obviously building community. And then just sort of even diving into the comments. And that's the basic way of sort of building community. That's the only real way of building community on there. And then you can also, I think even some creators even do giveaways and stuff like that. So, but I don't see a giveaway as a great way because it's kind of sort of, it's kind of cheating, isn't it, really? It's just, you're trying to sort of manipulate a situation. So for me personally, I wouldn't sort of advise it. However, you see people like Mr. Beast do it on YouTube and it works a ton. So again, it's down to whatever you want to do. But I would say those core few, the live video, obviously replies to videos and consistently showing up. And just don't overthink it. That's the most important thing, is just don't overthink it. No one's there to judge. No one really cares. I think that's the biggest problem we find. How do you find, obviously, like when have you done a few TikToks yourself?
Oh, I haven't done one video yet.
Yeah. So I'm calling you out now. So it's time to get on and get a TikTok done. Yeah. But I think the thing is though, with video content for me is super powerful. You can use it so effectively. Like we're on a podcast now and it's so effective. You know, you can chop it up. You can use it. You can chop up podcast clips and stick that on, obviously on TikTok as well. So you can utilize the video content you've got already if you're worried, and taking them tidbits and sticking that on TikTok because it works. It all works. Again, it's all about that space of value that's delivered and how useful it is to that person, the audience. That's where I've seen creators really, really sort of excel, really. So, yeah, get on it and give it a try. You've got to get in there, Michelle, now.
I got to do it now, right? Exactly. So you're saying that, do the 15 seconds, the short form, but then if I have existing content, I would think I'd want to mix that up. I don't think it would be that good to have the talking head. So you can just try it out. And it's not so like on Instagram where everyone has the beautiful layouts and they make it all perfect or anything like that, is it? It's just kind of, okay.
I find Instagram really cringe. I find it so cringe. That's why I stopped posting on there, because it's, especially now our arena, everything seems fake and everything's perfect still. Even on the TikToks, they're still perfect. And it's like, you ain't got to be perfect. You can have a laundry in the background. No one cares. It's like, there's like, and it's good because you can mix it up. You can mix up talking heads. You can mix up with reactions. You can mix up with just doing lists to music. You can do a day in the life, so you can have various there's so many ways of creating content. But I always say to people, just like it's called a company name, create with voice, put your voice out there. When you put your voice out there, that's when people can really, really connect with you rather than just lip sync. But Instagram is too perfect. I don't think a lot of creators are doing exactly what each other are doing on there. And it's just, for me, it's seriously cringe, because when you watch TikTok, watch Instagram, it feels a lot different. It feels totally different. And I'm like, you're trying to replicate something, and you've done it with Snapchat, where Snapchat had the stories, and then Instagram, Twitter, and it worked well. But this, at the moment, is a beast where no one shouldn't ignore it. It's a bit like NFTs, isn't it? It's like the blockchain. Don't ignore it. It's going to, no one thought the internet would be massive, like I said. So, just get out there and just don't judge it. Just post a video.
Well, of all the people I've had conversations read about, you're really reassuring me here and all of us listening. It's so refreshing to hear. You don't have to be perfect. No one cares. And that's what you want. So that's so good. So this is a place to build your personal brand. And okay, so you really inspire me. I'm going to really work on some things. I'm going to go do some reviews. Now, the question I have for you before we close out with our 3 takeaways and all that, how much time does one need to spend? I know it could be any amount of time, but what's a good minimum amount to really invest time in TikTok to see traction?
Spend initially sort of 10 hours. Just break it up. Spend a bit of time on just examining the platform, seeing what's working, seeing what people are doing, see what's going to suit your personality, you're going to be comfortable with. I think because that's the hardest initial judgment we make. Some people can initially just jump on video and do it. So spend some time on there, first of all, and just get to a feel of the platform and how it works as well. Because again, it can be a bit clunky. I always use a stylus pen, that works really well for moving video clips about. There's so many features and functions. Use some of the functions as well, some of the green screens and stuff like that. Obviously, they give you an update on new trends every single week as well. So pay attention to those. Don't try and hop on trends though, because sometimes you can find your account will just fall into that category. It's so important as well when you start with your account to get off on the right foot and stay within your lane in regards to the content you're following and watching, as well as the content you're producing, because they will quickly categorize you, and you could be doing funny skits about marketing, and next minute you're just going to get stuck with the funny lot. And that's how the platform works. So that's the most important thing, really, is spend some real quality time on there to begin with. I'm just trying to think what else now. For me personally, I've been on TikTok a few times, so I had a following on TikTok of like 20,000 in a 6-month period, really, really fast, sort of posting 3-4 times a day. And I was just having random moments. I'd have a thought and I'd just record it, just a random thought, just be out on a walk, random thought, record. And I got rid of that account. I got rid of it and I took a step back from social media. And most people be like, you're bonkers. Like, you've had it growing. I'm like, nah, get rid of it. And again, instead of starting again. So with starting again, it's just like, right, you know what? I believe in the platform and I know how it works. And I know once you commit. But the great thing is you can repurpose all that content and put it onto LinkedIn. But just make sure you download the TikTok watermark downloader. See, at least I think you've got to pay LinkedIn a bit of respect if you're going to post it on the platform. I think when I see TikTok and some people are like, yeah, you should just download it. I'm like, no, really, you should just respect the platform and the people watching it as well, because you can. It takes a hot minute to press a button and download it. So once you do that, like I said, it's just consistent. But don't feel like you have to post 3 to 4 times a day. And if you have a thought, you run across something, then just post. If you post in a moment, you post in a moment. You might be waiting for a bus. Post. Just don't post when you're driving. So
like anything, like when we get on LinkedIn consistently, all of 2021, I did it every single day, and I was inconsistent before that, but I got the traction and got the hang of it. Just getting out there gives you that clarity. So that's really cool. So we need to all do our homework, invest in about 10 hours.
Yeah,
10 hours. Yeah. Okay. Not at one time, most likely. Just, knock it down. And you really should be really researched on that, and then just get in a lane and start out there. And then it helps to start following people, I guess, before you start posting or not, or so you have someone at least.
I've seen people not follow anyone and grow. There's a guy on LinkedIn. His name is Yasser Khan. He was a career coach initially, and he's moved over to become a confident coach. He's recently created a TikTok account and he's exploded for him. He's got some great tips on his account as well in regards to how to show up on video. So he's an account that people can follow from LinkedIn and then see exactly what he's doing. And then he creates really, really short videos as well. Really short videos. So that's, for me personally, that's the key, is keep it short. Don't overthink it and spend some time with it. But it's whether you want to make the time. But you've got to be consistent. We know, like, I used to blow out LinkedIn before. I looked at it, I thought, I ain't going over there, and ignored it. And since I've been consistent, you start to gain traction. And there's so many other, but what I found, like how social media moving forward is, you just need to be yourself. I think things that are I think even LinkedIn is too polished at times. It's like, nah, you've got to stop being polished. How many times can you share tips? It's just like with TikTok. If you want to talk about, the best thing to do is even just talk about your day and what's happening in your business. You've had, like, I've had sort of like Airtable that didn't work or something else that didn't work, and just talk about it, because people will relate. And if they relate, that's when you start building your tribe. And it's a tribe that once they're loyal, they will sort of engage. It's that 1,000 true fans thing. That's all you need.
You're so right. We don't need 1 million followers to make a difference, all good advice. This has been such a great, reassuring and relatable way to, start thinking heavily. Like, I really want to encourage you guys, whoever's listening, if this is something you can do, which we have just learned it is something we can do. I would encourage you, now is the time, just like building your personal brand. Now is the time to get out on TikTok, and then just start being you. It's so refreshing, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's almost going to be like a growth challenge for me to get out of my comfort zone like I did last year. So thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. So Steve, where can we find you? Of course, you got to tell us about LinkedIn and of course your TikTok. Give us all the places we can learn more about you.
So you can find me initially on LinkedIn. It's just Stephen Shillingford. And then on TikTok, it's Stephen M. Shillingford. I made a mistake when I was creating my username. So it's got my middle name on TikTok. And just hit me up, literally. I'm about to start a YouTube channel as well. So that's going to just be under Stephen Shillingford as well. Just talk about just sort of general content creation and tools and tips for TikTok as well. So those are where you can find me. I am on Instagram, but I use it mainly for messaging. That's about it. I
deleted my Instagram app too. I'm not a fan. So So we'll put the links in the show notes, exactly, so we can direct access all that. So that's awesome. So before we leave, I want to ask you, as I ask all my amazing guests, share their wisdom with us. What's a professional or personal mantra or saying that you have to either inspire people, inspire yourself, or maybe even to get out on TikTok here? What would you tell us?
I always say to people, become the change you want to see in the world. So whatever you want to see, if you want to see the world in a better way, then it starts with you. It starts with you becoming that person. It starts with you becoming better. You know, if you're out there and you're trying to make a difference, go out there. It starts with you. Make the difference within yourself and then share that with the world.
That's so true. And social media is the place to go find these people and make that connection. Thank you for that. Well, as always, everybody, I cannot thank our amazing guest for sharing his personal insights, telling us about how to build our personal brand, especially on TikTok, which is the place to be. You know, no more dancing, little kids or anything anymore needed. It's totally evolving as a platform. And now is the time to get out there. So I want to thanks again, Stephen, and we'll catch up and watch you. I'm going to go connect with you on TikTok and follow you. So guys, until next time, I just want to thank you and thank Stephen. I want to encourage you, as I always say, put yourself out there, right? Or if you have to even push yourself out there, if it's TikTok or wherever, get out there. You have a brand to build, a business to build, and people to impact. So guys, until next week, I'll catch you later. Guys. Take care, everyone.
See you later, guys. Ciao.
Bye.
Thanks so much for tuning in. You know, we need more impactful professionals, entrepreneurs, and leaders just like you getting out there sharing your expertise. So if you'd like to know more about how I can help you or your team grow your professional personal brand, please check out yourbrandyourbusiness.com. And until next time, you have a brand to build, a message to share, and people to impact. Now go put yourself out there and watch the business of you grow.